What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, helping you take your game to the next level. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the most unstoppable pro player offense for Madden 18. Now, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to improve your Madden game, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Make sure to hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad and never miss an upload. So what's going on, guys? Like I said, today I'm going to be showing you what is the best, literally most unstoppable way to play offense in Madden 18, and this is something that one of the top players in the game runs, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a brief intro about it. So obviously bunch week, we've known for the past few years, it is the best formation in the game. It's the best offense or mini scheme to run, if you will. Skimbo won with it last year. A lot of the top players, rely on this formation heavily. So this past weekend at the Redskins Club Series that was streamed live, by EA, of course, on Twitch and on YouTube, Goes Madden, won the event pretty easily. He won an event earlier in this year, basically just running gun bunch, but the way that he runs it is so unique, and the way that these plays play so well off of each other, I really wanted to highlight it. And this, this is nothing that's a secret. It's, been out there. It's obviously been streamed in front of thousands of people. But the way that, a lot of the top players run bunch, they run it pretty similarly, but I feel like the way his plays play so well off each other, I feel like it's something I want to highlight and show you, just how good a few simple plays and a few simple route combos can really make it difficult for defenses to play against you. Now, I'm gonna also leave the link to the YouTube link to the tournament in the description, because I think if you go back and watch, after I break it down and kind of show you exactly what he was doing, if you go back and watch it, I think it could be a really good learning tool for you to actually see just how because I know every time I break down stuff, people are like, well, I want to see gameplay footage of it, and I can't always give you that because I don't have the time, but you can go watch how he went up against some of the best players and how it is just such a pain to defend. So the first play we're going to look at is mesh post, and he mainly ran 2 to 3 plays, mesh post being one of the main ones, dig halfback out another one, and mixing in stuff like PA post and corner strike, to keep them honest. But mesh post and dig halfback out are only in the West Coast playbook, so that's why a lot of people use the West Coast playbook, because of those 2 plays alone. Now, I did my own gun bunch ebook. Everybody has their different ways of running it. I have about 17 different setups, really in-depth breakdown of it. The link's in the comments and in the description if you want to check that out. Everybody has their own little spin on it, but I'm going to show you how Goes just pieced together a few plays that just made it pretty much impossible to stop. And somebody ran this pretty much the way he was running it for the most part. Someone ran this on me the other day, and I'll be the first to tell you I struggled to stop it. It is really hard to stop. So the first simple setup for mesh post that he really ran a lot was, you always want to max protect. You do this by pressing LB or L1 and up on the right stick. What this does is block your running back and tight end. Now, what this does is pretty much makes it impossible for anybody to blitz you. You literally can't blitz this. But even with only having 3 routes on the field, you still make it very hard for your opponent to stop you, and that's frustrating, because that's why I had trouble stopping this the other day when someone played me, because when you max protect and I want to blitz you, well, I can't blitz you now. So I have to leave coverage on the field. But even when you leave coverage on the field, these route combos just work so beautifully together that it's still hard to stop. So after you max protect, you want to streak A. Personally, I like to redrag X. I don't know that if he does that or not. I don't think he does, but I like to redrag X because it makes him run a little bit more shallow. And then you want to motion out the post route a few steps in height. So basically what happens here is this post has to be user defended. That's Earl Thomas back there at safety. He's nowhere close to making a play on it. We'll go to a replay here really quickly. You have to put the user kind of in like no man's land, like he has to pick his poison. He's in a no-win situation almost. You have the drag running underneath, wide open, and you have the post wide open. The streak is just pretty much pulling coverage back is all that's doing. So you might say like, alright, we'll play underneath coverage, right? The post will still be open. So let's say they play underneath coverage and user the post, right? This is where, it can get tough. They play underneath coverage and they use the post, alright. But the thing is, you can playmaker this up the field because they're playing underneath. If they don't play underneath coverage, they can't stop the drag. So, now imagine in Madden Ultimate Team, this is regs. In Madden Ultimate Team, if you have a wide receiver with the playmaker chemistry, he's going to playmaker and be pretty much unguardable. I mean, you're going to see here, I'm going to do it again. You know, Cooks is still going to pretty much be unguardable on this playmaker. But he doesn't even have the playmaker chemistry. He still stutters a little bit when you playmaker him. If you have a playmaker chem to wide receiver in Madden Ultimate Team, you can forget it. You're not stopping him on a playmaker. So, okay, let's say, you know, they play. This is another example. They might play underneath coverage, but they still, you know, most players, they're still going to use the post. This is the thing. They're still going to use the post because they have to. The post is open if you don't use it. So here I'm a man up Wagner on Edelman to simulate a user. So this is the problem here is usually you don't even have to playmaker. Some people might not feel comfortable doing that. You don't even have to playmaker most of the time because they're going to vacate the middle with the user to take that away. And then when they do that, you go get your 5 yards on the drag. And that's really what makes this tough. And I think that's what most people that try to run this have a problem with is you have to be disciplined enough to take the drag when that's all they give you. You have to take your 4 to 5 yards and say that's fine because every few plays I'm still moving the chains with my 4 to 5 yards. It's not pretty, it's not fun, but when you run a bunch scheme, you have to take what they give you. If they're only going to give you 4 to 5 yards, you say that's fine, I'm taking 4 to 5, every 2 to 3 plays I'm still moving the chains. And then eventually you're going to get them to bite back down on the drag and then you hit them with the post again. So that's one play. Now you go to dig halfback out and you're going to create the same concept. Max protect, streak A, except now this time you're going to drag B. So you have the same concept, but it's going to he runs it to the opposite side of the field. You have the post on the left now and the drag going that way. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be pretty much just a no-win situation, you know, for the defense. You have to guard both. You have to. So here we'll run underneath coverage. Again, we'll take like Wagner and go man him up on Cooks to simulate the user. Let me just get the play here. So okay, we're gonna simulate that, and I mean again, watch this. So he's vacating the middle already. Drag's wide open. We're up the field. We're getting 15 yards on the drag, or we wait for it to cross on the other side of the field and we playmaker it up again. You can do either or. So it's just it's a no-win situation. So let's look at something else now because cover 4 isn't even really the meta as much anymore. It's cover 2, you know, with the middle linebacker back deep. So the whole point of that middle linebacker being back deep is to take away the post. But the problem is when you put a streak on the field, you know, I covered this in a video a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, of how to beat Tampa 2. Anytime you have a post and a streak against Tampa 2, that middle linebacker is going to follow the streak every time. Watch. So they're putting that guy back there saying, well, that's going to stop the post. Nope, it's not going to stop the post. Bobby Wagner is nowhere even near the post. I'm going to go to the replay here just to, you know, show you a little bit closer. Watch Bobby Wagner. He's going to bail and run with the streak. He's running with, even though 57 is got it covered and the safety's back there too, they've got it taken care of, doesn't matter. Bobby Wagner, that's the way the game is programmed. His zone rules tell him I have to follow that streak. And again, Edelman is wide open underneath. Both Wagner and Earl Thomas, two of the best defenders in the game, they're nowhere near him. So this is why this is really a problem, because most people you run or face are going to run cover 2. So you run in cover 2, you're not going to put, most people aren't playing underneath coverage with a cover 2, because if you happen to come out and run a corner route, they're going to be destroyed. So in cover 2, you literally are going to have both of these guys open every time, because no one's going to really shade underneath in a cover 2. So the user again has to pick one. Now let's go to a cover 2 and look at the same thing with dig halfback out. Here's our play setup. Again, Bobby Wagner, watch what happens. He's going to follow the streak, and then Brandon Cooks is wide open underneath, and that is, to me, still the best route in the game. I said that, you know, months ago. That route just cuts so sharp over the middle that it's crazy. So, again, we'll go back to cover 2 again, because this is mainly the most popular, you know, coverage shell defense. This is the meta. Again, they're not going to shade underneath on a cover 2, because if we come out and run a play with a corner route, it's wide open. So here we go. We take the drag. Didn't mean to dive there, but we got about 7 to 8 yards on the drag. Again, the user has to pick one of them. So again, we'll go to a cover 2. We'll put this out here, and then we'll take Dawson here, man him up on Cooks. Again, we're simulating a user. That most users are going to try to eliminate the big play. That's what they're there to do. Don't give up the big play. So at that point, you know, again, you could throw the drag quicker now. Get down, bam, you got 9 to 10 quick yards. Those 2 plays alone, just a pain. Now what you do to make it better is you occasionally sprinkle in corner strike, and you can do like a setup. You know, typically he would just drag A, So now what happens is if they ever start hitting you with like too much underneath coverage, now you're in a situation where you have both of those corners. Now you're attacking the sidelines. You know, still motion your guy out to get the same look. And you got wide open corners on both sidelines. Because people are going to probably play some cover 4. Let's say they're playing cover 4 underneath, take away the drag. Let's say they're taking the safety to use the post now. So both hook zones are staying on the field. So yes, you can still playmaker the drag, but let's say you're not as good with playmakering the drag. You're not going to have the drag just open unless you playmaker it against underneath coverage if they leave both hook zones there. So let's say they use it as safety to take away what they think is the post coming. Well, like I said, you still have both corners on the outside. We looked at B last time. Now we're going to look at X. So you sprinkle this in just to keep them honest and say, hey, I can still attack the outsides of the field too. And it is just, as long as you execute, you're not going to get stopped running this. And the main key here is because you're blocking 7 most plays, so blitzes are not a threat to you. Really the big key is just identifying where's the user going. Is he staying with the drag or is he going with the post? And you go to the opposite guy. The hardest part for people that try to run schemes like this, I think, is you have to be, like I said, you have to be patient and say, you know what, be disciplined. He's giving me the 4 or 5 yard drag, or maybe if you're running corner strike, it's the 4 to 5 yard flat route. You take that every time they give it to you. Don't force the corner, don't force the post. If they're only giving you the 4 to 5 yard route, you take that, you keep moving the chains. Eventually they're going to have to bite back down on it to respect it, and that's when you go up top. If you execute this, and I mean these are such simple reads. The first 2 plays is literally, it's a 2-read play. Where's the user going? He's going high, okay, I'm going low. He's coming down low, okay, I'm going high. It's a simple offense, a 2-read offense, and they cannot blitz you. Implement this and you will be really tough to stop. Like I said, I'm going to have the link in the description. Go watch the actual gameplay footage of this. It's a good learning tool to see how he dealt with certain coverages and pressures, and it's the best offense in my opinion this year, the best pro player offense. So wanted to break it down for you guys because I know most of you are probably watching it and you want to know exactly like why is it so good. That's why it's so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.